Now, starting up a business, starting up a brand new endeavor, they all have something in common. Educating myself in business, marketing, I've come to realize that there have been commonalities when approaching these endeavors. And when you understand these fundamentals, they can be applied to almost every part of your life. Now, the first one I've had an incredible amount of time trying to figure out and to get into my thick head, just for the fact that I'm always in my head. And it's not bad being in your head because you tend to analyze or even overanalyze certain things, but it can get to a point where it drives you insane and it doesn't allow you to make a proper, educated decision. Number one, don't believe all the thoughts that pop into your head. Now, what do I mean by that? Your mind is naturally overactive. When you're laying down in your bed, warm and comfortable, your mind is constantly running, playing out different situations, even putting itself in a type of fight or flight mode, because you're playing out the day in your head of, oh, what if I had this situation, or how would I have done this better, and so on and so forth, which can really put your body out of ease, and it puts your body in an incredible amount of stress. The thoughts that just pop into your head that almost doesn't seem like you. You know, when you speak to different people, different personalities that you come across during the day, their vibe, their energy, their way of thinking, depending on who you are, can have an effect on you, because you really try to understand that person and how their mind works and how they play their days out. And depending on what type of personality they bring forth to you, it rubs off on you. You start to unconsciously integrate it into your mind, into your body, which, if you are a really receptive person such as me, the mindset of that individual almost integrates with mine. And unfortunately, a lot of people nowadays have a mindset of doubt, which in most cases, a lot of people nowadays tend to have a negative way of looking at life. Things pop in your head that may state, I don't know if I can do this. I feel like such a victim in this situation. Or I doubt that I'm going to be able to do this. It's such a daunting task. Or there's too many steps involved for this to happen for me. Regardless of what negative thoughts you have, really just try to focus on one step. Think of it like this. Say you had to summit a mountain. Imagine how many steps it would take for you from the base of that mountain to reach all the way to the summit. You always start by putting 1 foot forward. And when you put that 1 foot forward, once you're done, you put the next foot forward. You put the next foot forward, and then you put the next foot forward. And it's generally good to know where you are going, but where you're going and the environment, the external factors are constantly changing. So in essence, the most important step you can take is to put that foot forward first, which leads me to my next tip. There's absolutely no need to hesitate. When you start off in something that you really love to do, you just go for it. Not knowing what's gonna happen, not knowing the rules or anything of that sort. You just go for it. And it doesn't matter if you're good or not, you just go. Because it's something that you feel you've got to do. Or it's something that you enjoy and you do it. Or it's something that you have to do and nothing stops you. You just go for it. And you learn the rules, you learn the ways of the game as you go on, as you progress through this game. And it's better to make mistakes in the beginning. Make all the major mistakes that you can in the beginning, because it may get costly when you make those simple mistakes later on in life. And there's absolutely no need to be afraid to make mistakes. People make mistakes all the time. But the difference between them and you is that you can learn from it. You learn from your mistakes. When you learn from your mistakes, it's no longer a mistake. It has been a learning opportunity, and now you've learned the lesson. You can implement that on your next step. Learn from that mistake, or learn from whatever it is that next step implies. Continue on. Naturally, you progress each time and you get better at it. Tip number 3, self-doubt. Now, this is also a big one that took me by surprise, because I didn't realize this was occurring with me until a couple of years back. Self-doubt has been such a breaker of goals in my life so far. Now let me explain. When everybody else in this world is doubting me, it actually is really good, mind you, because it provides me with that fuel of proving them wrong. And so I have more of a drive, I have more of a passion to really enforce what I want to get done in life. And contrary, if I have self-doubt, if I start doubting my abilities and my processes and everything about my situation, it slowly starts to eat away at me. It almost becomes toxic in a way, because it starts off as a seed almost. That step, I'm not really good at writing. I don't know. I'll see what I can do, but right now I'm kind of just, it's a little scary because I can't really word things right. That mindset will start to become, I can't do it. I just have no way of writing this paragraph to make sense at all. To the point where when you're publicly speaking, you're lacking ability to put words together, get the best of you, and you're left standing there, speechless. It could start off with such a small doubt and grow into your being, and it's almost to the point where you can't weed it out and it becomes part of you. Self-doubt really does grow like weeds. Self-doubt and negativity in general grows so quickly in one's being that oftentimes it takes over their lives and it ends up controlling them. In this journey of self-betterment, you're having to constantly weed out your garden that is your mind. Constantly weeding out all of the negativity, all the self-doubt, and all the self-criticism about your personality, your being. That way you can let all the beautiful flowers and the plants of your positive thinking and positive affirmations and everything good about you to flourish. You have to tend to those. Tend to your good thoughts. Tend to your good parts of your personality. And weed out all of the bad. Resist feeling comfortable. Now, a lot of us, me included, have fallen prey to this. There have been points in everybody's lives where they're just comfortable. Comfortable with their job, comfortable with their living situation, comfortable with their romantic lives, and they start to feel relaxed. And it is a trap, mind you. It is a trap disguised as comfortability. Now let me try to explain myself. When you are comfortable, emotionally, spiritually, physically, you're not allowing yourself in those aspects to grow as a person. Does that make sense? When you are comfortable with yourself in that position, you're not giving yourself an opportunity to expand your awareness, to expand your growing capabilities, to expand your horizon, simply because you're comfortable where you're at. Now, who doesn't want to grow, to become a more loving, to become a more positive person? Of course, everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to become a better version of themselves every single day of their lives, not knowing the fact that they have to expose themselves. We all have to expose ourselves to the negativity. We have to expose ourselves to the parts of ourselves that we push away, that we shy away from. Throughout my entire life, I've always wanted to become a better version of myself. And I didn't understand why all these bad things are happening. Now, the situation itself isn't bad. It's just a learning opportunity. When you get too comfortable, you don't expose yourself to the difficulties of life emotionally or physically in order to grow better. Like, for example, I go to the gym every single day to experience discomfort. When you're in the gym, you're constantly having to rip apart your muscles and to put your body in such an incredible amount of stress. That way, when you rest, your body can recuperate. And when it does, it heals itself and it becomes stronger. In order to shed light, you have to expose the darkness. You have to dive into the darkness that's within you. The only way to have positivity in your life is to acknowledge all the negativity that is within you. And lastly, persistence. Regardless of what you're doing in life, your goals, aspirations, continue to do it. Regardless of how hard it is, how tough it may be emotionally, just continue to do it. Disregarding how smart you are, how intelligent you are, how beautiful, how cunning, how charismatic you are. If you're learning something and you're constantly taking charge and learning about it and implementing it in your life, your business, your endeavors, you are bound to reap the benefits of all the things that you've learned. It just takes time.